What is up, everyone? It's your host, SB Philos 4 here, back with another episode of RePHIL Studio. Get your cans ready, as we always do. We're going to refill to 99 for our next set. And for this episode, I have the pleasure and honor to welcome Wholesome, aka June, and Houdini as podcast guests today. So as a brief intro for both of them, June has a nice set of podium titles, including third place in the Shadows of Days Past Remain, second place in the Einsatz of a New Journey, and first place in the recent Girls Be Ambitious event. Houdini, a returning guest after almost a year, as a reminder to what she has done. She has gotten top 10 in the Backstage Pass 3 event, and very recently, or not too recently, but relatively recently, got first place in the Original Call song tiering. So both of you, thank you for taking the time to join us in the RePHIL studio today.
Thank you.
I think I hopefully did a pretty good job on the intro, but is there anything else that you'd like to add that I haven't mentioned?
I like coffee tea.
Nice.
I like owls.
Very important information for our guests, our listeners out here to know. So it's June's birthday today.
No, it's my birthday every day.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday every day. So again, both of you, thank you so much for taking the time to join. Usually, again, as we start off on every episode, it's always fun to listen to the origin stories of how our guests got into the series and Bang Dream. So, June, how did you get into Bang Dream's Girls Band Party? Where did this all start?
Okay, where did I start with this? Okay, so, how many years has it been? Two years ago, 3. I wanted to play a rhythm game, and I didn't really know what rhythm game at the time. So I decided I wanted to play piano tiles. I wanted to play piano tiles, and I saw Bandori instead when I searched for rhythm games. And I decided to download that instead. And I did. And then here I am playing it. And I really enjoy it. I really enjoy playing it. So it could have been very different path if I just stood with piano tiles. I wouldn't really be here today, really, if I, didn't download Bandori.
Who knows? There might be some really huge piano tiles community. But instead, of course, you stuck with Bang Dream Girls Band Party. What made you stick with it? Was it like particular parts of the game, or was it like a character or a band that sort of really attracted you to the series?
I think I remember playing it a long time ago. Pretty sure I did. I vaguely remember the Xmas event, the Poppin' Party Xmas event. And then I don't know, I don't remember if I guess I did uninstall it and everything, but then I guess I reinstalled it. So when I reinstalled it, basically, I was interested in all the characters in there. I guess I didn't pay much attention to the characters at first when I first downloaded it. I guess I was just not paying attention. But this time I paid attention and I looked around, and I read everything, the characters and the bands and everything. Hello Happy World was the band I first saw and was interested in. All the characters and everything. So they became my favorite for a while. I had a totally different account before I had this account. The one I had with my tiering and podium. So I was a casual gamer, a casual gamer, a casual Bandori player. So I had that email. And I played on like a slow speed too because I didn't know. I didn't know if I had to play in a faster speed or not. And I guess I was more comfortable. I guess I got comfortable with slow speed, which is 3.4 speed, and that's always been my speed. That's always been my speed forever now till the beginning.
Yeah. I totally remember when you showed me like some footage of you playing the game. I was like, wait a second. How slow are you playing?
Yeah, I play really slow, I guess.
Yeah, but
what else? Oh, I remember I was around when I started playing it with my first account. I remember that it was around the Luminous Once More event.
Mm-hmm.
Where I practiced like crazy. Becoming better at playing Bandori and everything. Tearing wasn't on my mind yet at the time. So it wasn't like a big thing because, yes, I was casual at first. So I didn't really think about it. All I thought about was like the gacha aspect of it. So I was thinking like, oh, I should get like this character and get this character. I was a big Haru and Kokoro fan at the time. So I really wanted their cards and everything. Then around that was like around 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah, sounds about right.
2019. So getting into 2020 of March, that's when I decided I should start fresh. I should start new. So I got myself an account. Well, I had an account before then. I made 2 accounts. That's why. But the other one was just a reroll. So I made that around like October. So I had that one. So I decided to start on that account instead and just man in my old one. So when I started my new account, I did some pulls. And, then I, I got all the cards I wanted. Well, not all I wanted, but I also got rate-ups I wanted too. And I was like, wow, I love this account. There's so much. But then I also thought about tiering aspect around that time. Like, now that I know everything about, Bandori and everything, now I can start off good and start this whole tiering thing I've been hearing about. I've been wondering about.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Jun, I'm gonna have you share a little bit of your tiering very shortly. I'll get you to share a bit of your tiering experience and just a bit and how you got into it, because I'm very looking forward to that. I'm definitely quite just hearing like how you got into it. So we'll go on that very shortly. I'm going to switch over to Hou real quickly because I know, Hou, we don't really need to do the intro of how you got into Bandori. We've already done an episode of that before. So I'm not going to have you repeat, but maybe as a slight, maybe aside, because you've heard about June wanting to get and how they wanted to get into, rhythm games a lot and, playing a bunch of rhythm games. You played a lot of rhythm games, if you recall from our conversation before, from a while. What about Project Sekai? What happened there?
Oh, I actually do play Project Sekai, but I do not play the EN version. I play the JP version instead. Mostly because I do playing more of the new songs as well. And sorry. Along with that is that the EN pubbing experience on EN Sekai is horrendous. I'm sorry to say, but every time I play or when I played Sekai EN, every time I pub, there would be constant DCing, and there would also be very slow loading. JP Sekai has very minimal happen when those things happen. Also, Sekai, as you know, has the whole rank match now, which makes it very entertaining to actually go against other players and fight at like similar skill levels.
So with Sekai, was it more like the gameplay aspect that really like drawed you in? Because I know in our last conversations we had like you going into many different rhythm games. So was it like the gameplay mostly, or maybe again was there like a particular unit or a character that really kind of drew your attention?
I think it was more of like the gameplay. Like a lot of people said that like the gameplay does look like Chunithum, one of the arcade rhythm games. And I do enjoy. I honestly enjoy Project Sekai's gameplay more than Bandori. It just feels like much smoother to tap. I think it also ties in with like the whole iOS 15 and the updates, because we still don't have Sonic Sync, and it's still making like the game very jittery and laggy for me. Sekai doesn't have as severe as a problem as Bandori does. And then for the characters themselves, I think like over time I just got to know the characters and I really like them. But one of the characters that I do like the most in Sekai is Kohane, and it's mostly because I just saw people using emotes of her and I thought she was very cute.
Kohamusta. yeah. Kohaners, amazing. Yeah. So again, it's great to hear that a lot of our guests, maybe to Bushiroad's dismay, that they're getting into other games and enjoying it. I'm sure Bushiroad would rather have a monopoly, but what can they do? So yeah, who again, welcome as one again once more, and it's good to hear that we'll have a slight twist to your intro there. So. So, June, once you got into the game in Bandori, right, you started to play quite a bit and were quite interested in the game. What first, you mentioned, going into tier, what first convinced you to get into tiering, first of all? Like, was there a particular reason that you thought, okay, maybe I should try, like, going up the leaderboards?
Okay, let's speak. Again, my favorite band was Hello Happy World, and I really like them a lot. So when starting on March of 2020, the upcoming Hello Happy World event was Smile Patrol event, and so I thought I should go ahead and cheer that event. I just wanted to give tiering a try. I didn't really know what exactly my motivation was. I just really wanted to try it for the first time. And be like the people on the rankings, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. That's fair.
So I went ahead and did that. During the event, I kind of didn't have a good team. I guess I wasn't. It's gonna sound silly, but I didn't know team building that well. So my team wasn't the best, but for some reason I made it. I guess it was more expensive too, because my team wasn't that good and I didn't understand it. But I did make it on the 95, I guess. I think that was my rank, 95.
And what was that event again? Sorry?
Smile Patrol.
Oh yeah, Smile Patrol. Yes, that's right.
Yes, that was my first T100.
What was that, like all pubs? That's something you did like on your own, and
yes.
Kind of. Oh wow! So
I was not particular in tiering servers yet. It was all pubbing. Yes.
Wow. So when did that happen? When did you find that? Well, first of all, when did you join, and how did you join? How did you figure out about these sort of tiering servers and such?
Okay. It was because I became friends with Loon. Loon showed me about tiering servers around the Hello Happy Yukata event, that one. forgot the name.
It's a long name, but it's the one with the kanan yukata as the banner. Yeah.
Yes, that one. Around that time, I asked Loon about me wanting to tier the shadows event.
Mm-hmm.
So I was interested in tiering it, but I wasn't 100% sure. I guess I wanted to T10 it, and so Loon invited me to the server, their server and everything. So I joined, and I joined other servers too that were in the server portal. And I guess my first experience in the tiering server would be Bopping in the Hallway, that server. And that's when I got a good taste of tiering servers, I guess, and tiering and helping out and supporting and everything. And then I went on from there.
Okay. Wow. That's neat. That's neat. Again, I imagine you just so happened you had a connection with someone, right? Loon, again, a former guest of the podcast, to be able to, find a server, right? It's always this first server that's very difficult to find, but once you find one, it's so much easier to kind of go into other servers and such. So, I imagine that was a similar experience to you. And, what was that experience like overall? Like, I imagine it was a lot easier than, just pubbing.
Yes, it definitely was. It was a lot easier. I also, I didn't really know that much about those yet. I mean, I did read them. It's just there were some things that I didn't really know. I guess for other event types, like Versus Live, for example, I didn't know you had a doormat at first. So I was like, oh, I didn't know, because I thought I read all the rules from these past events, and then I just didn't know that. So I read it again, needed to understand it. But then I learned it. Glad people around told me and helped me out. Wow. They helped me out in most of the things.
Okay, yeah, and again, it's really interesting because when you get into a server, you have to like suddenly learn about all these like random terms, like doormat of like VS Lives, like what does that mean? Like what does scores mean? What does like all this mean? So it's definitely a little bit of a learning curve, but it sounded like you adjusted quite well.
Yeah, I adjusted quickly. Okay. I got used to it. And I started to understand fully about it. And not only that, that Versus Live event was the animal events, the heartfelt event. That one, it was that one where I learned about doormat, and near that was also the Shadows event. I wanted to T10, and I got on the roster for that. Later on, I really, Podium was open, and I really wanted to go for Podium. So I did. I did get on to Podium to have a chance to Podium, and so that's how I got on to Podium instead of my T10, instead of like a T10. So it was the first Podium, my first T10 up. That's
like pretty crazy, like to just go from like, okay, I just kind of stumbled myself into these servers into like it's like a couple, like basically a dozen events later, less than a dozen events later, you're already on your way to your first Podium.
I was too ambitious, if you can say that. I was ambitious. I really wanted to go higher than a T10. Just a little thing inside me told me that I really wanted to go higher than just a T10. So I decided to go for Podium, and that I really wanted to. I didn't know how much I had to play, so I practiced a lot. Okay. So I practiced during the Heartfelt Letter event where I flameless T100 during that. So I did a lot of hours. Non-stop. I did a lot of hours non-stop that event.
And you get some cans in the meantime too. It's a VS Live, so
yeah, it was really good. I was really proud of that because it's my first flameless ever, and one that's like really high up there. So yeah, I'm really proud of that. Pushing myself to practice and everything.
For sure. That's great advice again as well, just to hear, like, you know, for people who are maybe new, you know, trying to get their hands wet with tiering, and, you know, some practice with playing long hours, and it really helps with eventually getting, you know, those really super high tiering titles like your T3. I was just going to touch upon this, you know, later, but might as well talk about it now. June, what sort of motivated you to go for T3, or at least initially T10 and then T3 for this particular event? Shadows of Days Past Remain. Was it like, you know, just because it was Kaoru and young Kaoru, or?
Okay, so sorry. So basically around December of 2019, that's when the event came out. Like it was announced basically in for JP, and so that event really stuck out to me a lot. At first, during that time, again, I was like a casual. This was before I decided to do tiering and everything. I guess that was one of my motivations to start tiering, was because of that event. Now that I'm talking about it. So basically, I just really, really wanted to go and tier that event, and I was just excited. Everything about that event was like what sparked me to like go for it. I really liked it because, yes, it was baby Kaoru and baby Chisato. I really liked them a lot, and I liked their story together a lot. And I love the dog Leon.
Pets are great. Yes, the dog is great too.
At first, my goal was T100, you know, for that event. And then it just sparked to become a T10, then to a podium in the end.
The end. Well, it worked out for you, right? T10 accidentally became a T3 after a little bit of hard work, but you worked hard to get it. So that's definitely really great to hear. And I imagine, you know, it was maybe a bit challenging for your first T3, but it sounded like you had a really good time, and everything basically went all according to plan, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's good. Well, big congrats to you on that, June, on that. That's really great to see that. And we'll definitely talk a little bit more about your other achievements soon. But, you know, I also want to just briefly talk about the fact that, you know, for some people, after they tier an event, they maybe just kind of, you know, say, okay, I'm done, and don't really tier too much. But many of the reasons why people stay around is because of the community. And all the people that are around here. So, June, do you remember, when did you first meet who? Do you remember when was that? When did that happen?
Okay.
And who you could contribute anytime as well, if you feel, and if there's any gaps or miss in the story here.
Okay. I seen Who around many times in the community. I saw them in pub court. I saw them in the tiering servers as moderator and everything. I guess the first time I like interacted with Who would be like around July, I think, where I saw Who and the Etude server. And I was also moderator for that server too.
Oh, okay.
We're both moderating the server. So that's when I saw kind of had an interaction with Who. Yes, we weren't really that much interaction before, so it was, yeah, we are now. We're very much interactive.
Yeah. It was like mostly through Aqua, if anything. Aqua really helped connect us better.
Shout out to Aqua, once more former podcast guest. I'm gonna say this every time at this point. I'm sorry. That's I guess I have to say that, but I think how was that modding of a server? Like, obviously, I imagine for both of you, modding a server is definitely very different from tiering a server. But what was that experience like?
I didn't really do much.
Oh. But you did interact with Hou, so that was a win.
Yeah, Hou did a lot for the server and everything about it. Like, she was like a big help. She was like best mod. She's best mod all the time.
That's too much. But yeah, I guess that was the one where we did all the games, right? So
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that one I did explain a lot in my previous podcast that we set up all of the games, and because Aqua wanted to have fun, but he didn't have time to finish up all of the games because he was like so busy on tiering. I still even remember that he was late to G1 by like almost an hour or an hour. I don't remember, but he was late to tiering and he was the T1 runner. It was very funny, and I was just here like trying to manage all the games every day. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
Oh, for sure. And again, that was the infamous server with ASC, and then there was a lot of interesting remarks from outsiders.
Yes.
That was definitely something, because I know like who you mentioned how like that server was definitely quite a bit to manage, but everything kind of worked out. I imagine you eventually maybe passed all that knowledge and how to do a good job as a moderator of a server to June as well, because they also eventually modded quite a few servers, I imagine, as well.
Yeah, it was my first time modding. It was my first time modding and everything, which I don't understand. I don't remember how I got to become mod for the server. Because Aqua gave me the role, and I was like, oh, or maybe I asked. I don't remember.
Oh boy. That's definitely quite something. Anything else that you two remember in terms of like other experiences you've had? Because obviously now that you two become great friends since. Any notable like fun kind of memories that you had in the community ever since that fateful meeting in the ASC?
We didn't really integrate them much. But who do you remember?
It was mostly like during GBA we started like interacting.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay, well,
like at least a month before GBA, at least. But
okay.
Yeah, it was around GBA a little before that when we started interacting. We'd always talk to each other a lot. And I basically like was trying to take care of June like during that whole event.
It was a big gap from that. It's like a whole year since the first time we met to like not interacting for a while, and then to GBA, then we started talking a lot.
Wow, well that's really good. Houdini, you seems like you've brought a lot of people under your wing now. That wingspan is growing bigger and bigger at this point.
Oh no, a lot of people call me mom.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. So, June, before we talk a little bit more about your other tiering achievements, and of course GBA is going to be sort of like the grand finale of this episode, let's talk a little bit more about you, because since the last time we spoke, we talked about your sort of event rank tiering, which was relatively notable. But then you eventually prepared for a song tiering, and since the last time we spoke, you now have a T1 song title under your belt. This was for Original Call, which was one of the song titles for, if I recall what event that was. That should have been that was the Lisa banner, Embracing Your Lost and Confused Self. Yes. So obviously you as a big Lisa fan, I imagine that was, your big goal. But what did you do to prepare for this T1? And like, was this always like a goal of yours that, you wanted to get T1 in this song title?
I like the story.
Oh.
The story's good. Yeah, the story's good. Yeah.
Well, yes, for sure. Definitely, like, it was something I really wanted to do for a while. What really motivated me was, I think everyone, back when, like, I was very active in QAP, was that everyone, or, like, not everyone, but the people I usually QAP'd with, which was, like, usually, like, White Will, Rowlet, Meko, Lovely, like, they all had their T1s. And I'd be like there with just no T1 song. And so that just like kind of really motivated me to like try and get one. And before even the event was announced, I was just trying to build Quilzalia. Like I just was like, I'll just build Quilzalia. It's fine. This is gonna be like my one team that I'm just gonna try and have optimal for. And when that event got announced, I was like, oh my god, this is the one I will go for. And like also over time, like I really like the song. Like the full version came out like a few months ago, right? And the full version is just wow. It should honestly, no hate on Sprek, but original call should have been the BS3 song. No. But then again, I wouldn't get my song title for that. So
oh yeah, we take what we get.
And then to prepare for it, I was at some point I would just like practice like once in a while, like on JP, just getting used to it. I would also practice with the really bad no sonic sync because like Ian wasn't affected at the time, but JP was, so I'd be playing with that. And even when JP got sonic sync, I still play on like without it because that by the time that event came on Ian, that would Ian would be affected and would need the sonic sync. But after a while I would just like I didn't really practice it, but like at least a week before the event started I would just practice like every day for like at least an hour or just even like a few sessions of it, just practicing. But really I only really learned how to do the chart like on like the event of like to how to like play it better.
When the time came for the event, right? You had the optimal team, and you're like, okay, let's try and go for it. Was there any sort of obstacles in the way? Did you notice that there was like a pretty high bar of competition, and you kind of a little bit of learning on the spot? Was that a little bit nerve-wracking there?
Yes, certainly. I was like during the event because like you had like a couple contenders up there. Like you had Lessica, you had Manny, you had Joe, like also gunning for podium, and a lot of people actually had optimal in T10, but they just either they probably couldn't do the ops, or they just like couldn't play it as well. I guess like you needed to get the max score, you had to get an AP. It wasn't like any great ops in it. But yeah, I was a bit scared like throughout the event. I was like, oh shoot, chasing me. But all I really wanted was try to hit the max score, which unfortunately I didn't, but I did reach 2.69, which is nice. What I also wanted to do. But yeah, that run also kind of made me like really sad because I think I got like a random grade in there, and I did not know where I got that grade. Oh. I'll take the T1.
It worked out, and it wasn't the ideal perfect, but we got them. We got those. So, did you find it more stressful than event tiering, or like is song tiering sort of like now you're like, okay, this is like my jam. I think song tiering is something I'd rather do now.
For event tiering, I think it's like I usually just go for like T100s now, so it is pretty chill. But like with song tiering, it's like I'm going for like I only have like a few more events I want to go for, but I would be going for like the T podiums and then T or maybe T10 because I do want like I do have in mind to either get like another T1 or get like the rest of the podiums, basically like T2 and T3 and a T10, just because I just want to complete like the whole set, you know. But yeah, I do find song tiering a bit more stressful because you need to have a good team, and that's like a very crucial part, and you should be able to play the song. Like one of the most stressful song tierings I had was not Original Call, but it was Sensen Fukoku T100, because I had 2 out of 5 that event. And both of them were 100% scores. One of them was Searching for Stars ran. And I was like right there at the border of T100. I just tried to keep up scoring. Like I one thing I do realize about myself is that I do like struggle to AP under stress. So that's like one thing I did find out. And yeah, and that event, but then I managed to make it into T100, and I think that's is like almost as it's pretty much as good as my OG Call T1 in some ways, just because of the journey that got there. And the funny part was that I actually managed to park or what. I was next to the White Whale when we were actually going for it. We just had our names as Sensen Fukoku. I can even send you the image if you want.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. That's actually hilarious. Well, that's, again, the Sensen Fukoku, I can't imagine tearing that song at all. I think that's kind of like, I think it's my least favorite map personally to play, like out of all the 28s. And I think I honestly even rather play like some of the even crazier maps. I just don't like that map for whatever reason, because I'm terrible with drum rolls. So
like what? After that event, I could not AP Sensen ever again. I still have like an FC star on it. I have like 1 greats here and there, but I just haven't AP'd it yet. I think I even want to say like I'm much closer to getting my AP on Setsuna Trip than Sensen.
Boy. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know, sometimes things like you play so long, it kind of breaks you, and it's just like I can't break out of it. But maybe you'll get out of that funk soon once you get out of that and be able to AP all the songs in the game. I imagine that might be a goal of yours in the future.
I'm trying, but I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. I recently updated to like iOS 15, and that just made my life way worse.
Oh, unlucky. Well, that's just how it is. But we'll see. We'll see if you'll get those goals back. At least, you know, iOS 15. Maybe it has some bad syncing, but at least it's not Android where you just can't play the game at all. So
true.
Yeah. So. Anyway,
rest in peace, Android players.
Yeah, rest in peace, Android players. Anyway, but Hou, again, big congrats on your Original Call T1. I just want to personally mention that it was funny because I had like 5 4-stars Roselia, but I think one of them was a blocker instead of a scorer, but all the other ones were scores. I'm like, oh yeah, easy, free. I'm gonna get like the easiest top 100 ever, and it was like the most stressful thing ever because I just felt like I kept getting voted. I think I barely got into top 100. It's actually ridiculous how competitive that was. So despite the competition, you got through. So
well, I wanted to just add, with song tiering, it's that like it really is like for these easier songs, these quote unquote easier songs, like usually like sometimes 26, but usually 25 and lower, you definitely need like optimal team, like even for T100. Like some people do underestimate EN a little bit. I mean, I guess you can for like, you know, 28s, some 27s and above, because like it is much harder for the player base from what I've seen. But like these 27 to these 25s and below, like they are like, you know, EN is very competitive for these lower song levels.
Yeah, well, there's some advice there. If you want song titles, and if it's an easier song, just wail. Just get more gacha and pray.
And who got away with murder?
Bushiroad said, Bushiroad's like, let me get that star currency, all that money away from you real quick if you want that title. So I'm sure money has been taken from all of us by Bushiroad at some point, quite a bit. Hey everyone, it's Phil here. Hope you enjoyed the episode so far. As a reminder, the RePHIL Studio podcast is available on all of your favorite platforms. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and make sure to give that high rating or the thumbs up whenever you do, because helping the podcast increase its reach to other viewers is greatly appreciated. In terms of other content, check out my VODs channel, the card description above. Consider subscribing to check out other content, and also if you want to be a part of the content, join the Anga Academy Discord server, links in the description below, where you can contribute to the studio question every week and interact with special guests featured on the podcast. So looking forward to seeing you there. Last but certainly not least, a big shout outs to all of my Filler Nation members who've been constantly supporting me in my content. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and you get shout outs on pretty much every podcast episode. So thank you so much for your support. If you really like my content and would like to support me, join the Filler Nation by either subscribing to my Twitch channel or by joining my Patreon. Links in the description below. There's also a new feature. You can give a super thanks through my YouTube, so you could do that as well. Any support is greatly appreciated. Let's get back to the episode. Jun, before we talk about your T1, which again is a very recent and amazing achievement, let's talk about your T2. So what happened in Einsatz and what convinced you that you wanted to tier for that event? And plus, it's Morphonica. This isn't Hello Happy World. So, what happened there? What was your motivation to go for second place in that event? And, how did you prepare?
Okay. This is one heck of a story.
Uh-oh.
So, I was going to tier a Hello Happy World event.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Oh.
Until the whole schedule.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Basically, I didn't know. What I originally was going for was the Ojamajo event collab. I was originally going for that until schedule changed. The thing was, I didn't know when it was going to come out, right?
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any set date. So I was a little worried that it wouldn't be on the right time for me. So I didn't want to wait, right? So I decided to drop that plan. And I guess at first I was going to wait it out, just go for my next goal and not do any other podium.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that's what I was going to do until, Einsatz was what stuck out to me. There was a lot of reasons why it stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it stuck out to me because it was on a good time. Yes, for one. But also, at the time, I was starting to get into Morphonica. Morphonica was slowly getting to become my next favorite band ever. So Morphonica as a band, I was like, oh yeah, I really like these guys. I really do. I started really liking them a lot. I tiered their first events too, as well. The very first event I tiered in an Etude. I tiered those events for them because I started liking Morphonica. I didn't really expect to tier for them, for a T10 or podium or anything like that. At first, I was thinking of doing that later on, but I guess things changed. So I got to go ahead and do a podium for Morphonica way sooner than I thought. So I guess another reason for going for Einsatz is because of my friend Aqua. I wanted to tier for Aqua because at the time he dropped the event because of schedule change and all this other stuff. So it's funny because he asked if anyone would want to, T2 Einsatz randomly in a different server. And I was going to say I was, but I didn't tell him at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept most of this whole me tiering Einsatz secret in a way. Not really, but like kind of low key. So I did that. I kept it low key. I didn't really announce that I was going to go for it or anything. I just wanted to tier it. Mm-hmm. I mostly told people to keep it a secret because at first I changed my name and everything. So like, it was really, really interesting. Mm-hmm. I even was pretending to be Aqua in like the tiering server. I pretended to be Aqua, but I didn't really try. But most people fell for it. So.
That's hilarious.
When me and Aqua, sooner or later, Aqua found out that was me on T2. Oh. So me and him were doing a little trolling and everything. So it was really fun.
Wow, sussy behavior, don't you think?
Yeah. It was really fun. I really, really enjoyed that.
Wow.
I really think it was a good experience. I even got to go get a second podium and everything. And I even got to meet more people and more friends. At the time, during Shadows, of course, I was new to everything. And I didn't really have much friends at the time. Like, I didn't know most of you guys today. So I had a little more friends this time around Einsatz. So it was a lot of support. I really appreciate it.
What a fun story, June. Like, just kind of going in and, okay, maybe at the beginning wasn't that fun where, your initial plans were foiled by Ian Dory's terrible time management and resource management. But regardless, you turned it into a positive and were able to tier for another band that you enjoyed quite a bit and had some fun with it in the meantime. I imagine, like kind of doing it almost last minute might have been a bit stressful because it was a full morph, event. You may or may not have the morph cards ready, but you may have had already. So I'm not sure if that was an issue or, overall it was all good there.
I had I was missing, I think, I was missing Nanami Cool, and I had my Mashiro 2-star, so I did have good, decent cards. That's I got fair. Rui's 3-star initial on and off rate, which was a while ago. And then I had a Toko 4-star I got during the Dreamfest around that time when Morphonica came out. I just also luck sector there. So I had a decent team for the most part. I did pull for Einsatz gotcha, and I did get the full set.
Okay, good.
So it was really good, and I was very lucky.
That's fortunate. That's fortunate. Again, sometimes gacha gods may be lucky or maybe forgiveful, but others times they're not so. But it seems like it all worked out in the end for you. So despite like the last minute changes, it all kind of worked out for you. Maybe not necessarily the most whale team, but again with event tiering, the whale team is not necessarily needed as long as you put the time and devotion. So yeah, big shout outs to you, June. That's a really fun story that you shared there, and I'm sure that people like Aqua could attest to how fun that was. So. Yeah. So before we talk about Girls Be Ambitious, obviously with Morph, June, you ended up, and I would have to concur here that, the most, we would say wholesome or, pure character in Morphonica has to be Tsukushi. So, what made you really like Tsukushi overall? And, was that a big reason why you wanted to eventually tier for first place in Girls Be Ambitious?
Okay. I really loved Tsukishi a lot as a character. I know, like, okay, my first favorites were Karu and Kokoro, yes. But during that time, around that time where I was just a Hello Happy World fan, Tsukishi stuck out to me a lot during that time. And I tried refusing liking Tsukishi at first.
Oh, no.
I thought like having too much favorites was like an issue or something. but like I just really wanted, I don't know, later on she just really stuck out to me more and more, and I read her stories and everything, and I just thought, oh, she's just amazing character. I really like this character a lot. She's so cute and everything. She's everything I always wanted to be. she's like, you know, it's just very, I don't know, she's cute.
For sure,
I really like
for sure.
She.
Yeah.
Like June.
So yeah, she became my favorite, like my number one favorite ever. What made me want to tear, it was because what I wanted to tear for Tsukishi, yes. If what I wanted to was Girls Be Ambitious, yes. But before that, I thought about an event of Tsukishi in the future because she didn't have a banner yet. So around that time, I was thinking I should be prepared for her banner. But at the same time, I felt like I wasn't the biggest Tsukishi fan. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to or I thought was a good idea. But I really, really wanted to tear for Tsukishi. I really did. So I decided to make a waiting room server for it. And I didn't expect to get support right away. It was weird. I just didn't really expect most people that wanted to support me at first. I was confused. I was like, what? I barely met you guys.
Maybe they thought you were Aqua.
Yeah, Aqua was one of the people too that were like the first ones there. And I was like, huh? I really am grateful for all of you to come and support. So yeah, when I was thinking of Tsukishi's first banner event, I thought of it being like a cooking kind of event or something to do with sweets. And I thought, yeah, that would be her first banner event. Originally, the server was called Tsukishi's Cooking Class.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I think she will have something to do with something like that. And it was kind of pretty much close.
Yeah, it was pretty accurate.
It was very close. When Girls Be Ambitious was announced, I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I was expecting. Well, not exactly, but like definitely very close to what I was expecting for her first banner event. It was really nice, and I really loved the coffee teacup there because I love coffee tea. So I was like, "Oh, this is perfect! I really love it." I knew I was gonna spoil everything about the event. Spoil it till it's like a big old coffee bean. It's so cute.
Yeah, and you know, again, your devotion and your love for the event really showed. June, you really put a lot of effort into the server, making like, you know, custom emotes drawn by yourself, which, by the way, June's art, for those who haven't seen, is absolutely amazing. I think everyone in the viewers who know can attest to that. So you put a lot of heart and soul into that event, and I'm sure that, you know, when you prepared for it, I don't know if you were maybe nervous about it, or maybe you were confident that, you know, this was yours, right? This was your event that you're going to T1.
I had a lot of mixed feelings about it. Well, for me, going for T1 again, I wasn't sure to be going for it, but I didn't really think about T1. I just thought about just tearing it as a whole. I really, really wanted to tear it, just to have fun and just, you know, tear it for my best girl, Tsukishi. So I really, I guess I was going to spoil it and everything, you know, just giving everything about the event and doing things for the event, like drawing and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like the event in general. I just really liked it. Like, I didn't think it was my event. I didn't think it was my event. It's not my event until I T1 it. That's the mindset I had. Like, I just, when people say out there, like, I will be T1, girls be ambitious, I said, nah, not yet. Or, like, I just kind of, don't acknowledge it because I haven't yet. I haven't until I do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have like, I kind of thought, yeah, this could be my event, but at the same time, I was having like mixed feelings. I was also going through a lot of problems in real life too during the time, so it was like I was kind of iffy. I was kind of scared. I was nervous.
That's fair. Again, tiering is a big, commitment, right, in life, and you have to put a bit of time into it just to kind of show your devotion. And there's going to be times when there's obstacles you have to overcome and such, but that's why you have the server, right? That's why you have the people there to support you and just make sure that everything's okay and to cheer you on. People like Hou, right? Who I imagined throughout that whole week was in voice chat and kind of hanging around and having a good time showing her support. So I'm not sure if there's any fun, notable times in voice chat in GBA or any just kind of fun times in the tiering that are stories that you either of you recall.
At the beginning of GBA, I was watching Shirobako with Midori.
Yeah.
Midori's here. Hi, Midori. Yeah, we were watching it at the beginning and start because we planned on watching it, and it was really fun watching Shirobako. Because Shirobako and Colorful song, and we both really like the anime a lot, and we hope that lots of people watch it too. So because it's really good, it's really good anime.
All right, big shout outs to Shirobako. Make sure everyone watches it. That's June's homework to everyone.
Yeah, a few people started watching it too when we were watching it. Like Aqua really got into it, and that was like a highlight of the event. It's good. Like talking about it. We were also the characters during the event.
That's right.
We were in the names of the characters, and like at the time I put the roster as their name, so it was still kind of like like anonymous, I guess. Still, like no one knew who we were. Like, who's this and who's that? Like, no.
That's fair.
Then later on, the Who and I started like VCing and stuff. There was a gotcha stream, and I remember Who and Clam wanted me to pull.
Don't get whale fluence. What are you doing? Who? What are you doing? Why are you whale fluencing people?
No, it was like, I wanted to pull. I said I was going to pull a few more pulls because I didn't get Tsukushi yet.
Oh, no.
I was at 169 pulls, I think. So Who and Clam said, just do, how many pulls was it? 3? 3 more pulls?
It was like the daily on the other banner, and then do 3 multis on the main banner. And we're like, you probably get, at least Clam, I know Clam said you'd get Tsukushi on the 200th pull.
Yes, and it was the most craziest thing ever because I did one pull, I got a dupe. And then I did the other pull, and I got Shadow's Chisato.
Oh!
And I didn't get her yet, so it was cute because I never got her during Shadows. I only got Karu, and I told myself I knew I'd get her one day in the future. Like I'd get her off rater and everything, and I did. And it was it's like a coincidence because it was during my T1, and I was really happy that I got her. And then the final pull, Who and Clam told me like to skip it. We're just gonna see like, the same cards. It's like a little min roll and whatever. And then I was like, no, what if flip? And then it flipped. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
It flipped. And on the 200th pull, and just like Clam said, 200 pull, and I was very, you guys are lucky beans. Giving me this luck to have Tsukushi.
Wow.
He was on the sugar high for like at least 2 days.
I was really happy. I had happy noises everywhere.
Oh my goodness. well, that made things a little bit easier to, for people like you to support June and their achievements, right? Because, it's if they got the gacha they wanted, and it's a lot easier to be like, well, there you go. That's the calling, right? That this is all aligned for you. So
yeah. Me and Who started talking a lot after Girls Be Ambitious.
Yeah, is there one particular thing the two of you learned from each other? There's like one thing you would like to maybe summarize for those who may be unfamiliar with either of you. One thing that you learned from the other person.
June very cute, like always.
What? Who's very cute too. Yes, it's true.
Everyone's cute, and it's always June's birthday. That's what I already. That's what I get. So maybe those fireworks that you mentioned earlier, maybe they were celebrating your birthday. We didn't hear it, by the way, so it's all good.
Okay, you didn't hear it. It was like a loud boom, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that's a little weird, a little suspect. But
I don't understand why it's my birthday every day.
It just is.
Kind of happened.
Always has
Was
been.
it the last day of GBA?
Mm-hmm.
The last day of GBA was it 4th of July?
No, it was the day after 4th of July.
Oh, okay. I think because I do remember I was in VC and then everyone could hear the fireworks outside my house.
That's nuts. Me Canadian. Me Canadian as a Canadian, I can't understand that on 4th of July. So
Yeah.
I want to hear that. So. Well, honestly, again, June, a big congratulations to you on your T1 on Girls Be Ambitious. At least for the next year, you could confidently say that you're the only Tsukushi banner T1 holder. So you will be holding that for a while. So
yeah, very, very grateful for that.
Once again, big congrats. So we'll be wrapping up very soon. Again, to both of you, thank you so much for taking the time to share your lovely stories. We're just going to wrap up with one quick studio question. And again, as a reminder, the studio question is something we ask our server members as well as special guests every week on the podcast. And we're doing this live, so our live listeners can contribute to this question as well. I'm going to ask the two of you to answer this as well. So our weekly studio question is the following. If you could transport one Bandori character to an alternate universe for a day, this could be like an alternate game series or whatever, where would you transport them, and why and what exactly would we be doing? Again, this might be a pretty difficult question to think right on the spot, but if either of you have an idea of an answer, feel free to shout. It's a pretty again, these questions are pretty interesting. They're very open based. There's no wrong answers, obviously, but a lot of fun options you have. So I guess if it was me, maybe I'll contribute first. I mean, the obvious answer would be to have them go into other similar franchises, like have someone go into D4DJ or have someone go into Project Sekai, as just like a random example. Like, my favorite character in Bandori is Sayo. My favorite Project Sekai character is Enna. So if they joined, like if Sayo somehow got into PJSekai verse, these older sisters would just lament about carrots together and just eat cheesecake, and it'd be a pretty fun time, I think. So I think they would be they would have a pretty interesting time. Lamenting about carrots, especially, that's pretty funny. But I don't know why. I don't know why I end up liking characters that end up hating carrots. I actually personally don't mind carrots myself, but either way. And so we have some answers in the viewers. Again, this is a little bit more of a complex question. So of course, if you want to contribute, feel free to do so. And of course, in the YouTube comments as well. Do either of you have an answer yourselves on this?
Who? I know. Oh. Minecraft.
Wait, and who would be playing who would be in the Minecraft universe?
I don't know. Tsukushi.
I think she'd be so lost. She'd be so confused. I'd feel so bad for her.
It's because me and we've been playing Minecraft together.
Oh.
And I was like, Minecraft. That's all I could think about.
Oh my god, Minecraft brain rot. That's funny.
As for me, I'd honestly just do Lisa in Transport 2, Sekai Universe, and beat Kohane, and honestly, I think they would get along well because Lisa's a motherly figure. She also likes fashion a lot, and I think she could dress up Kohane really cutely.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
so cute.
Yeah, for sure. For Minecraft, I definitely think I think the logical answer would be someone like Akko, but Tsukushi would be very interesting. And then for Project Sekai, of course, we have a couple of people in the comments as well sharing their Project Sekai I guess crossovers. I think that's just that's the easiest to do. Just grab a Bandori character, put him to Project Sekai. I think also Lisa might have a pretty interesting relation with Shiho, kind of like how they did with Kaoruko and Arisa and the Revue Starlight Bandori. They'll be like, well, I feel this really familiar aura with you, and I don't know why. I think they would have that kind of interaction as well, like Lisa and Shiho. They'd be like, what? Like, wow, you're the only other bassist in this world. I wonder why. But yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. As well. So again, thank you again to our listeners for contributing to this question. Of course, anyone in the YouTube comments as well is welcome to contribute to the studio question once more as well. All right, so we'll wrap things up here. For the two of you, thank you so much for taking the time to join the RePHIL studio today. I want to give the opportunity for either of you to share some final words, any shout outs you like to give, as well as maybe some future events that you may want to tier in the future. So June, we'll start with you. Any sort of final words, shout outs, and future events that you would or not like to share?
Okay. Shout outs to Midori, shout outs to Ives, shout outs to Ray, shout outs to Sky, shout outs to the White Whale, shout outs to Ruby, shout outs to okay, I'm gonna say everyone here. Okay, everyone in the audience, shout outs. Oh my gosh, thank you for being here. Shout outs to our Minecraft home.
Your new home.
Shout outs to Stinky Akla, even though I don't know if he's gonna be watching this later.
Oh, he will. We'll force him
to Who, Genie, Mom, best moderator ever. And then I think I already shout out to you twice. I don't know. I don't really know what else.
Wow.
Shout out to Phil.
Oh, thank you. Any future events? Are you still going to tier, or are you still kind of putting things on hold and waiting to see what happens?
I would like to tier next Tsukushi banner. I was planning with me and Midori to tier a Tsukushi event one day again. But, you know, I don't know. We'll see when time comes.
For sure. And all the best, June. Hopefully there will be a Tsukushi banner in the future. I would definitely look forward to that because Tsukushi is also my favorite morph character. So, yeah, I do look forward to that. So hopefully, and all the best in that. And also, I will give personal shout outs to your art as well because I think it's amazing. So, yeah.
I forgot I had Twitter.
Yes. Oh yeah. All your Twitter handles will be in the description of this video as well.
I recently revamped it.
Ooh.
Like, much about it. I also forgot to tweet some art. Whoops.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll await that. Maybe our listeners here will get to see that soon as well. So look forward to that. Houdini, again, thank you for joining the studio once more. Any other final words, shout outs, and anything in the future that you plan to do?
Thank you for everyone for joining in and listening to Minds and Wholesome Stories. It was a pleasure seeing you all here. And I guess like any future, one event I would disclose for the future is what is it called again? It was like I'm not that kind of person. And it's the Rinko Tomo event. I will be trying to go for an opera podium. Hopefully.
Ooh. Good luck on that. Is SP more optimal or EX? EX. Okay. Well, good luck on that. It's like it always seems to be like the challenging song titles that you're going for. So, you know, always want to challenge yourself with your Rilla skills. So, but all the best there as well, Who. And again, for anyone who wants to keep in touch or just, you know, our guests and their Twitter handles are in the description below. And of course, if you want to join the Anga Academy Discord server as well, feel free to do so, or you can contribute to the Studio Lounge questions and meet our special guests as well. So hope to see you there. But that's going to conclude today's episode. So the set has been complete. Get your cans ready and remember to get your, be ready to refill for the next set. Until then, remember that the RePHIL Studio is available on all of your favorite podcast platforms. And check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. I already mentioned the Young Academy Discord server. So that's all, folks. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Take care, and bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for the B-Days.